Peace, 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 peace. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful Sunday. Play a little jammy jam. There we go.
It's so funny being back on this planet, man. It's been such a long time. I'm coming back from Atlantis, just like, hey, oh wait, hey, yeah, oh wait, yeah. I'm back from Atlantis, you see, I was born on Earth, but I'm not from here. Ay, I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard. Oh no. I say I was born on Earth, but I'm not from here. I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard. Oh no. You say I am from the sky, I am from the moon side. We was born with our creator, and then we fell. Oh my God. Oh yes we fell. Oh yes we fell. Oh my God. Listen up, and all is mine. You see, we can make our heaven, you know why? We made our hell. Just look around, but can't you tell? Okay, be careful what you think, and be careful how you move, and be careful what you say. The body, if we are not the flesh, it's life and death, and this thing right here is just a test to reconnect the holy breath. Okay, I said I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. Yeah, I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard. Oh no, I keep telling you I'm not from here. You see, I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. Yeah, I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard. Oh no. I am from the sky, the son of Most High.
Ooh, yeah. Praise Allah. Come on. Peace, 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 peace. I am Rami Salam Mel. I thank you for tapping in. Thank you for joining us. This is Moorish Koran class, chapter 32. Holy instructions from the Prophet Charity. This is the class where we read a chapter of the Quran, break down some of the lines, look up some of the words, just to get a better understanding. We are going to be reading from, this is the Holy Quran, the Moorish, it says Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and now Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. It was a universal prophet sent for everybody, for all of humanity, but came specifically for the so-called black people, so-called African Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called colors, so-called melanateds, so-called, what's the new one, foundational black Americans, so-called Native American. Anyways, he came for us because we needed him the most. We are focusing today on chapter 32, and man, I got to tell you, I said I got up early today. So let me look over the chapter, get my mind right. And I got to looking up some of the words. Oh man, I tell you, it hit different. It hit different when you do some studying. But we're going to read through the chapter first, and then we'll go through some of the definitions and then reread some of these lines. And I dropped the the link for the chapter in the chat. If you don't have it, you can read it online. So chapter 32, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, Charity. Happy is the man who hath sown in his breast the seeds of benevolence. The produce thereof shall be charity and love. From the fountain of his heart shall rise rivers of goodness, and the stream shall overflow for the benefit of mankind. He assisteth the poor in their trouble. He rejoiceth in furthering the prosperity of all men. He censureth not his neighbor. He believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence. That's a tough one for me. Neither repeateth he their slanders. He forgiveth the injuries of men. He wipeth them from his remembrance. Revenge and malice have no place in his heart. For evil he returneth not evil. He hateth not even his enemies, but bequeatheth their injustice with a friendly admonition. The griefs and anxieties of men excite his compassion. He endeavoreth to alleviate the weight of their misfortunes, and the pleasure of success rewardeth his labor. He calmeth the fury, he healeth the quarrels of angry men, and preventeth the mischiefs of strife and animosity. He promoteth in his neighborhood peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. All right, so it's a lot going on here. Only 9 lines, but it's a lot going on here. And for me, when I'm studying, and for you, what I suggest is a good way to study any word that you're not absolutely familiar with, you're sure about. Write it down, look it up, get the definition, write the definition down. Write the definition down from the dictionary, then write it in your own words, so that you can get a good understanding of what it means. Then go back to the line, read it again with the definition, and it gets you a better understanding of what's being said. Today, I wanted to focus on, what was it here? Malevolence, 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 censureth, but it breaks down to censure, CENSUER. That's a oh my goodness, that one right there is crazy. Admonition, ADMONITION. There was one more I thought I'd seen. Benevolence stuff. Benevolence. Oh, and also real quick, just with breast, because it's like, what are you talking breast? But breast, I'll look it up in the dictionary just so we have reading. And I got some of the pages marked today. We are coming from the big dog, Random House Dictionary of the English Language. And so when you're reading this Quran and reading some of older scripture, you might come across the word breast and be like, But what it's referring to, and this is definition number 5, or entry number 5 to the definition of breast. The bosom conceived as the center of emotion. So it's talking about the center of your emotions. So reading the line back again, happy is the man who have sown in the center of their emotions the seeds of benevolence. So boom, then when you break that down, it's like, oh, okay. So in the center of your emotions, you should have benevolence. That should be the seed that you plant. And all your emotions in the center of it. You know what I mean? At the core of your emotions. Okay, I'm following now. Then when you look up benevolence means the desire to do good to others, goodwill, charitableness. So what do you know? The chapter is called Charity, and it's saying that you should sow in the center of your emotions the desire to do good to others, to goodwill, an act of kindness, a charitable gift. Boom. And when you do that, the seed produces charity and love. So when at the center of your emotions, that's what you're sowing, that's what you reap. You reap what you sow. Come on, man. This is Jules just right off the top. So that was line 1. I was like, man, I dig that. But the line that really caught me, man, line 4. He censureth not his neighbor. He believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence, neither repeateth he their slanders. So when it's some people, there's some slanders going on, you ain't got to repeat that. All right, no gossiping. I get that. He believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence. So let me look up malevolence real quick. So you don't, you hear the tales of, are they envious of you? It's like, I'm not trying to believe that. I'm not trying to believe that's the key though. He believeth not the tales. Malevolence. Malefactor. Malevolence. The quality, state, or feeling of being malevolent. Ill will, malice, hatred. Oh. So boom. So you don't, and then on the line 5, we'll come back to line 4. He forgiveth the injuries of man, he wipeth them from his remembrance. Revenge and malice or malevolence have no place in his heart. Oh my goodness. And malevolent, we'll just go right to malevolent, is wishing evil or harm to another or others, showing ill will, ill disposed, malicious, evil, harmful, injurious. You don't want that malevolence. You don't want that in your heart. And you don't believe in the tales of envy and malevolence of your neighbors, of other. And so, boom, that was the other word, neighbor. I said, man, let's look up neighbor. Let's look up neighbor real quick. Neighbor, obviously a person who lives next door, right? But when you go down a little bit further, one's fellow human being. So it's talking about when he says, and when it says he censureth not his neighbor, he censureth not his fellow or her fellow human being. Talking about humanity now. Oh, okay. So now when you hear neighbor, just understand they talking about humanity, humankind. And then let's get to the censure word. Because this is where it gets deep. This is where it gets deep, I tell you. Censure. Censure means strong or vehement expression of disapproval. To criticize or reproach in a harsh or vehement manner. To criticize or reproach in a harsh or vehement manner. Strong or vehement expression of disapproval. I don't even know what vehement means. I know what it means, but I need to look that up. These are synonyms. Condemnation, reprehension, rebuke. And it's talking about harshly. To criticize or reproach harshly. It says he censureth not his neighbor. When his neighbor is talking about humanity. So you don't harshly criticize your fellow human beings. Your neighbor. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We got to be kind, man. And in line 4 it tells you, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We don't harshly criticize. Line 6, for evil he returneth not evil. For evil he returneth not evil. So when someone's doing evil to you, you don't be evil back to them. You don't fight fire with fire. We fight fire with water. Come on, Chairman Fred Hampton, one time for him. For evil he returneth not evil. He hateth not even his enemies. Martin Luther King now. But requiteth their injustice with the friendly admonition. Requiteth their injustice with a friendly admonition. What is a friendly admonition? It's a whole lot of words we got to break down, but it's going to make sense in a minute. Look that word up too, admonition. Admonition, admonish. Admonition says an act of admonishing, counsel, advise, or caution, a gentle reproof. So in line 4 it says he censureth not his neighbor. So you don't harshly criticize or reproach your fellow human beings. In line 6 it says when it's talking about people that's evil to you, not even your enemies, when somebody's doing injustice, what do you return to them? A gentle reproof. And then we go up to admonish, to caution or advise or counsel against something, to reprove or scold, especially in a mild or good-willed manner. Come on now. In line 4 it says you don't harshly criticize your neighbor, your fellow human being. In line 6 it's telling you for evil, don't even return evil. Someone's doing an injustice to you, you bequeath that, you fix that with a friendly admonition, a mild, good manner reproof. Back to that. To reprove or scold, especially in a mild or good-willed manner. It's letting us know how we got to be right there. Happy is the man who is doing this, or the woman is doing this. And what was one more line that I wanted to focus on? Oh, line 8. He calmeth the fury, he healeth the quarrels of angry men, and preventeth the mischiefs of strife and animosity. We're supposed to be calm in the fury. We're supposed to be healing quarrels between people. We're not supposed to be stoking the flames. We're not supposed to be agitating things. We're supposed to be healing things, keeping the peace. What's Islam? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, man. He promoteth in his neighborhood peace and goodwill. Peace and goodwill. That's what we're supposed to be promoting. And his or her name is repeated with praise and benedictions. Man, I'm telling you, this chapter charity is deep, man. This chapter charity is deep, and it speaks especially to me right now, because it's some peoples that saying some not so nice things about me. But what I've learned, man, is you gotta learn, you gotta study and learn to love instead of hate. when you get into the scripture, when you get into the reading, the wisdom, oh man, it's right there for you. For evil, he returneth not evil. You ain't gotta be evil to people that's being evil to you. That ain't the way. Love instead of hate. And even when they doing wrong, oh man, I'm gonna tell you this part. It's a little side story. I watch The Adventures of Quest to Die, something like that with my son. And if he sees it, when he sees it, it's my bad for watching the episode without you, but I had to. But I watched this new episode. And spoiler alert if you following, but watch this new episode, and it was this dude that was down with the evil squad, right? He get beat up by Die. Boom, 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 boom. But Die is this honorable hero dude. So now dude gets flipped over to one to help out Die, because Die he just so solid. He helps out Die, they say the princess. After that, the evil dude that flipped over the good, he's so guilty. He like, princess, even though I helped save y'all, I ruined the whole, your whole land, and I destroyed a bunch of stuff with the Dark Army. So judge me right now. If you gotta take me out, it's cool, right? The princess is like, all right, I'll judge you. Your judgment is now you have to serve the hero and be, fight for justice for the rest of your life. I was like, ooh, talk about a judgment. You know what I mean? And for me, it hit me just like the line where it said, with a friendly admonition. You know what I mean? Is when people do an injustice, how do you respond in a goodwill manner? You ain't got to try to beat them down and annihilate them and destroy them. How do we build instead of destroy? Come on, somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. You know. And speaking of the scripture, I need to get into the Quran more, but one thing I know is that, Allah is most forgiving. It's like, man, when you think about that, it's like, man, what is this? This is teaching us return evil. We don't return evil to people that's being evil to us. Nah, don't do that. Find a better way. Love instead of hate. Oh, my goodness. And so, I guess I say all that to say, when somebody is doing you wrong, see if you can try to apply, not see if you can try, but do your best to apply this wisdom. How can you let somebody know they in the wrong, but not in a harsh manner, not in a manner where you're trying to seek revenge or where you have malice in your heart, where it's still benevolence in your heart, and see if you can really practice, this wisdom in your daily life somehow. For me, I'm gonna work on, even when people is throwing the shots, I ain't gotta throw the shot back. That's the evil in them. I ain't gotta return it with more malice and no evil. Take the higher road. I know, you turn the other cheek. It's some wisdom in that. It's some wisdom in that. It's true strength in that. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted out here. But that's what I wanted to say on the side note. Chapter 32, charity. He assisteth the poor in their trouble. He rejoiceth in furthering the prosperity of all men. We're supposed to be helping out all people. And line 2. From the fountain of his heart shall rise rivers of goodness, and the stream shall overflow for the benefit of mankind. It don't say for the benefit of Moors, do it? What it say, though? For the benefit of mankind. It don't say just for Asiatic, for the benefit of man, for everybody. But you got to sow the seeds of benevolence in the center of your emotions at the core. Yeah, man, that's kind of all I had to say on that chapter. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Kindness, the quality of being well. Islam. I can answer this question now. Greetings. Would you advise me to go for a driver's license in my free national name? Patar right knowledge. My advice is that for questions like that, we would need to address them to the Supreme Grand Council for the Moorish Temple of America. Rami, there he go again. Dang nabbit, I thought we was going to get away from it. Nah, we back to it. A question just like that is something that the Supreme Grand Council should have been clarified by now. Why? It has a duty to control and supervise all the affairs of the Moorish Temple of America. So when we're talking about Moorish Americans, we're talking about, how to operate and navigate in this society in the United States of America, and things dealing with proclaiming nationality, driver's license, property, the Supreme Grand Council is who will be most. That is the people that have the authority to clarify and state this is the proper and lawful way to go about that. So I say that we need to direct that question to the Supreme Grand Council. Who is on the Supreme Grand Council? You know, that John Travolta one? I'm joking, but the truth is that this is exactly why I keep focusing our attention back to the Supreme Grand Council, is because all of these kinds of questions should have been answered and can be answered, and God willing will be answered by the Supreme Grand Council. We just have to get it back active and function properly and lawfully. You know what I mean? And following the laws and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Yeah. Peace. 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 Thank you. Yeah. So I don't want to get too much into the Supreme Grand Council or any other talk, just because this is the one on the this is the class on the Moorish Koran, or the Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple of America. But I will say this before I close out, is that I do have the letter pretty much finished. I'm gonna go back through, proofread it, fix some errors I've seen. Then I'm actually in the process now of getting all of the addresses that I can find of temples. Once I get that, write out the envelopes, print them out. God willing, I should be sending the letter out by the end of the week. You know what I mean? So once I do that, I'll come on live, read the letter, just so everyone knows. The idea is to just be as transparent as possible. But read the letter, just explaining how we are going to get the Supreme Grand Council back functioning, so that we can in turn get the Moorish Science Temple of America back functioning properly. Yeah. So that is that. Again, read the Quran, Circle 7, the Moorish Koran, the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali. Study, get dictionaries. This one is the unabridged, the big dog here. Unabridged dictionary, if you can find them. But really just get it, get a few dictionaries. Look up the words that you don't know. Read it again. Go back through the chapter. Don't just think you got it the first 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times you read it. You know what I mean? Read a chapter 20, 50 times if you can. Yeah, and most importantly, no matter what, love instead of hate. That's the key. That's the way. Yeah. Peace.